milky green, gray, mucus-like substance thickens as you approach the large doors of Kraken Holme. The substance sticks to you as you move through it. The double doors look to be about 100 feet high. Emblazoned on each door is a symbol of the fanged circular mouth surrounded by tentacles, the image that you had seen that was referenced at Ma'aniel's manor. There's scripts written all over these large doors in a tongue that seems to be a mix of Elvish and another unknown language. And none of you recognize it. The doors themselves appear to be made of adamantine with giant door rings that are about 6 feet in diameter and about 50 feet up each of the doors. Between the doors, there's actually a gap. It's not completely sealed shut and certainly big enough for you guys to get through. The darkness is deep. However, the illumination from the luminescent kelp fields bounces around the cavernous chamber. Where you can see the walls, there's etchings and engravings, monuments, wall reliefs are everywhere, and to the effect of either admonitions to any who enter, lamentations about an age and a people lost to the Kraken's wrath, warnings against disturbing the beast, and prophecies foretelling its rise again and the end of all creatures on land, in the sea, in the air, in the netherworld, and even in the heavens. The end of times. You could spend months here and never read all that is etched in the walls that's codified here in a myriad of different languages as well. And as you're looking around, your eyes settle on what seem to be buttresses or formations within the cavernous area. And as you adjust to the green hue and kind of the scale and the scope, you realize that those formations are actually large tentacles. And as you cast your eyes about the place and start to look up, you see this massive gaping maw about 50 feet above you with sharp, jagged white teeth, which are green in the light from the luminescent kelp, encircling this dark chasm of a hole that basically descends into this creature's gullet. It has 4 beaks on it, has tentacles coming off from around the mouth, and tentacles that are coming from the depths of the darkness that you can't even see. To refer to this creature as gigantic is an understatement. It fills this massive cavern. And you can see now that any thoughts of battling this thing are foolish and fruitless, and you definitely don't want to disturb it from its rest. As you look around, huddled in a nook in the wall, Thalassa stares wide-eyed at you, and she says, "I saw you would come, and I saw that you would go, but not what happens after." And then her eyes land on Miradule, and she quickly kind of swims out, making a point of avoiding the undulating and moving tentacles to Miradule, and then embraces him. All right, I need to ask you guys what your plan is. Oh, and by the way, when you look at the mouth of the Kraken and you see all these teeth, and you also see what you expected to see, which are the incantations, the runes etched and or tattooed along the inner mouth of the Kraken. You know full well that you will have to activate the portal from a very precarious place. You have Talos' staff, which you can use, or something else if you want to burn another magic item, to fuel the energies that are going to go into opening the portal. Because with each of these, you'll recall you've had to sacrifice a magic item to open the portal.
I think the staff sounds like a great item. I don't think anyone here is using it, correct?
Oz picked it up.
So, what's everybody else got? Yeah. So the staff is fine.
We're using the staff?
I think so.
Thalassa then recoils, of course, in fear when she sees the Sawagan. Miradule tries to calm her down, but she looks a little perplexed.
To rescue you, we've had to go through kingdoms, not only your own, but of the Sawagan. We've made friends in destroying the Sibriacs and in undoing the evil and infernal magic that were plaguing that realm. So these are our allies, and they're here to help us so that we can all unite to be able to end Watum's reign of terror, both above the sea and below.
Excellent. Yeah. So once she's been pacified, she agrees to go with Miradule and the Sawagan, and she looks at Acacius and thanks him for explaining, and thanks you all for bringing a peace between the Sawagan and the Sea Elves, and hopefully it's something that they can use to help support the battle against Watum. She also looks at Acacius and says, "Sometimes the best way to serve your mistress isn't the obvious way."
Don't jump into any more waterfalls.
You beat me to it, Sam.
Does she have any,
Inkling on how to do it?
yeah, inside of a kraken's mouth? Yeah.
She says she's seen some of this. She just hasn't seen how everything unfolds. She basically points, gestures, and says, I see you guys swimming and holding position there. Your druid and your mage affect the spell like they've done before. The portal opens within the maw of the kraken. You guys get pulled through, and then she doesn't know exactly what happens as you guys start to get pulled through. So she doesn't know if what you do wakes the kraken. She doesn't know anything beyond that moment. At this point, Thalassa, Miradul, and the Swagan all bid you success, not just in opening the portal and defeating Watum, but also in not waking the Kraken and destroying all reality as we know it.
Cassis, I pass you 2 potions of healing.
Because we need to defend you, and you can't really defend yourself at this moment. I'll take your bow so I can at least defend at a range.
By all means, it was a good friend who lost his life fighting the same fight we're fighting. Use it with honor.
I'll make sure I defend you with it as best I can.
Okay, so you have Oath Bow.
All right, you guys get into your positions with the spellcasters directly opposed to each other, getting ready to cast. Osgaroth has the staff ready to use it when necessary. You guys will have to keep your concentration while Abyss breaks out around you. And we have supporting teams positioned to help you guys and defend you while you're casting. You basically have to keep casting or you break it, and who knows what happens then. Well, who's going to start it?
Yeehaw,
Ort, Grav, Rel, Flam.
Yeehaw,
Ort, Grav, Rel, Flam.
Yeehaw, Ort, Grav, Rel, Flam. Yeehaw,
But as you
Ort, Grav, Rel, Flam.
As you start to chant, vertices start to move from the now glowing runes that are tattooed or etched onto the mouth of the Kraken. And these vertices, these lines come out from it and converge in the center. And then they start to bend and warp and it starts to swirl. And as it starts to swirl, you guys feel like you're being pulled in towards the center of what's becoming effectively like a little whirlpool that is pulling into the mouth of the Kraken. So I want everybody to beat a DC 10 strength save. Okay. So without any
Strong swimmer.
Exactly. You guys, you're casting, you're continuing to chant, but nothing's happened yet aside from these lights, these vertices that are coming, and the glowing now of the tattoos and the etchings on the Kraken's mouth. It's starting to swirl, and I want you guys to do your first concentration checks, and you're going to beat at 5. Okay, easy save. So now it's starting to swirl as you guys are, chanting, and the chanting is getting stronger. The swirling starts to move quicker. The words around the mouth of the Kraken seem to be pulling in, and actually the mouth of the Kraken seems to be getting pulled in as well, slowly towards you. I want everybody to do another strength check.
I failed.
As the swirling happens, you guys are actually getting buffeted. The spell area of the portal constricts and then expands quickly, causing not just a swirling, but actually a pulsing to kind of draw you in, and it creates more of a hole for the whirlpool to descend into the Kraken's mouth. And as it pulses, it actually flings you out, and you hit Kraken teeth.
Ooh.
These are razor sharp Kraken teeth.
Serrated, man. Cool.
Given it's only at this point, it's only 9 points of piercing damage. Okay, I need a second concentration check from Kira and Oz. Oz got 11.
18.
You sustain that round. Adamar, as you're looking around, everybody else is kind of focused on their wards, and as the maw of this Kraken starts to shrink in, of course the teeth are closer and closer and closer, but you think you see some lights coming in your direction, flanking the little whirlpool that is moving down into the Kraken's maw. So on either side of this funnel, you see lights moving rapidly towards you. Lots of them.
Can I make out what they are?
They seem to be a bunch of little, a bunch of small lights. Based off the motion, it looks like schools or shoals of fish are coming up towards you. And it's coming from inside, not from outside.
Oh, so it's coming from his throat.
Yes. Yep. Whoosh. Okay. As you're gesturing, Adamar, down the thing, you kind of get caught and buffeted by one of these pulses, and you get blasted out towards the teeth again. And in the process, you take 15 hit points of damage as you get speared in the back by Kraken teeth. It doesn't seem to have woken the Kraken yet. And the water and the pulses, of course, each round of this is progressively more aggressive. It's actually getting harder to see in general in the water that's stirred up around the whirlpool. This is the third concentration check. Yeah, that's good enough. Now, on this round, things are going to get a little bit more hectic. First off, all of these fish just erupt around you. Like they just blast around. Some have lights, are glowing themselves, some aren't. And they just start to go after you. They seem to be attracted to anybody who's bleeding. So Adamar and Kai, they're going to gravitate towards you. There are a whole host of different types of fish. Some like little sharks, some like piranha, like coelacanths. Anything that has teeth. And all of these things are of this aberration form, this creature, these types of creatures that you guys had seen on the outside. Whatever you are doing now with the portal and it's creating this whirlpool has stirred up what was ever just sitting, resting in the gullet of this Kraken. You guys have to really try to protect Oz and Kira, and in the process, try not to get completely devoured by these piranha-like creatures. I want you guys to do another strength check. Adamar, Acacius, and Kira failed. So Kira's going to take some damage, and she'll have to do a concentration check. 23 hit points of damage for all of you who failed your strength check. Keep in mind that the maw of the Kraken is gradually being pulled closed, or tighter and tighter and tighter, hence all the damage. So once you guys take your damage, Kira, can you do a concentration check? Nice job. So that's a pass on the con save. And now I'll roll Osgaroth's concentration check for this round. So that's a fail. Osgaroth just had all of these fish go flooding past him, so whoever was on point for Osgaroth didn't bat the fish away from him quick enough, and it distracted him enough that he couldn't maintain concentration on the portal opening.
Tim, you can see in magical darkness, correct?
Yep.
And Kira doesn't actually need to see anything right now because she's just chanting, I'm going to cast magical darkness. Since we either have true sight or devil's sight, Tim and I are unaffected by the magical darkness. Kira isn't essentially blinded, but that shouldn't have an impact on her for what she's doing right now.
So she's like a horse with the blinders on.
So if I were to give my immovable rod to Kira and click it, would she not be moved by the water anymore?
Yeah, probably not.
I'm going to take my movable rod, tie it around Kira, and click it so she won't move anywhere.
I'm going to rage, and I'm going to make myself as large as possible and try and stop the fish from getting past. Try and be a buffer for now. I'm too worried about, starting to flail around with my axe inside of Kraken's mouth.
So I'm going to do it. I'm going to shoot from my purple dragon gauntlet, burning hands.
As these fish are snapping at you guys, and you're able to buffet them out of the way or swing your weapons and move them around, Kai does his fists of fury in the water, causing a little torrent, and punches and knocks out fish. With all of that heat, there's another pulse, and I want everybody doing another strength check.
Well, I failed big time.
Oz, you failed your strength check, so you're grazed against a tooth, but you made your concentration check.
Okay.
30 hit points of damage.
Really?
Unless you have something that negates piercing damage, it's 30 hit points.
Shit,
Check.
I'm a bleeder too.
That hemophilia doesn't help you in this situation. Kira, do you want to do a concentration check? And you failed, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so each of you have failed once, so that round was a bust.
Okay, well, I'm hurt, which is nothing new, so I will use a bonus action, give myself a little healing, and I guess I'll just shoot at some fish.
All right. It's like shooting fish in a Kraken. Did you just do 1 damage?
Probably. Here, I'll do all the rolls. So 25 and 25.
I think
Did
these are
those both
better
hit?
than your typical rolls, at least.
I think that one was very good.
Well, no, but he normally doesn't hit.
Yeah, normally I just do nothing, but 15 damage total for my Eldritch Blast.
That's okay. Adamar, you're up.
I saw Oz take that hit by the tooth, so I want to hold my action. If Oz takes any more damage, I'm going to feed him the superior healing potion.
Mm-hmm.
We got to keep him chanting and conscious.
That's a good plan.
Next up is Connie.
Punch a fish. I'm going to swim close to a group and light up Tinder Strike, and I'm going to try and skewer some fish. And I'm just going to drop Tinder Strike out of my right hand, catch it in my left, and then bring my right hand back around and just drive it into the pile of fish.
The pile of fish.
You can punch a ghost, you can punch a fish.
Exactly.
Okay. Being the sport fisherman that you are, Kai, you actually, between skewering, where you get like 3 or 4 fish on one skewer, you have to brush them off the dagger before you go in and skewer a whole bunch more. But you have thinned their ranks somewhat around Kira, at least. Kessis.
I'm going to take my rope and tie it around myself and Oz. Like, tie myself to Oz to
Okay.
try and prevent him from getting
I'm a strong swimmer. I'm a strong swimmer.
I know you are, big guy.
Oz is bleeding. They start to rip chunks of flesh out of you for 19 hit points of damage.
With my held action, I want to do the potion now.
Okay, roll it out.
42 hit points.
You're back up to full Oz. You glug, and this warm aura starts to fill your body, and you feel your wounds healing and soothing, like somebody applied some aloe vera.
I'm gently rubbing it on your chest and your back.
Very nice. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we failed 2 of our concentration checks, and I need everybody doing a strength check for me.
Yay.
I had 24, so Oz is
So then-
tied to me.
Then I'm going to give Oz the advantage. All right. Yep. So Oz is getting pulled away from you, and you're holding onto the rope. You're tied to him. You're swimming to resist, but it's to no avail.
Really, my 24 is
Well, I gave him. If you failed, you both would have got sucked in,
yeah,
and that's why I gave him advantage.
I get it. Sorry, Todd, I tried.
Well,
You're
thanks,
dealing
man.
with the massive 2 people, not just one.
Yeah. And the rope gets in the way of my swimming stroke.
That's right.
Well, didn't Oz get 18?
No, he got a.
Oh, yeah, he got the GM
he
roll.
did. He did. Just wait.
GG, Mike.
Yeah, man.
Would it be 18 or 6?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, the GM one is the one I'm looking at. So that it's the all right. Good job. Good catch, Kai.
Thanks, Kai.
I am very wise.
You are very wise. You have good eyesight. All right. So Kai failed his strength check. Is that correct?
Yep.
And Cassius failed his strength check.
So close.
27. You get buffeted up against a jagged tooth or slashed, whatever it happens to be, against one of the serrated teeth. And at this point, the Kraken's mouth is about half the size it was. So Kira and Kai, you're going to have to do something about the immovable rod and move her in a bit. Otherwise, she's going to be up against the teeth in no time. Hopefully they finish their concentration checks, though. So let's have both of you do another concentration check. And this is going to be a success. On Oz. GM is 15. That's good. And Kira. Is
I got
that
an 11.
Yeah, it's 15 now though.
Ah, fuck.
So that's no good. All right, let's just see how much more damage everybody else can take, because Kira couldn't just concentrate for a moment. What's your bonus?
Wait. I still have an inspiration.
There we go.
Might be a good idea to use it then.
Yeah.
Probably a good idea, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Oh!
Excellent. You guys have one more successful check to make, and now we are doing your attacks.
I can't afford to go throw myself at the teeth of the Kraken, so how about I tie myself to that immovable rod and just hang out with Kira?
Good idea. The fish get disadvantage on you right now, so not a bad plan. After Acacius's wily tying skills, and I don't even know what the hell I'm trying. Hey, Mike, edit this out of the video. All right, next up is Kai.
I will swim up to Kira, click the immovable rod, and push them both back another 10, 15 feet.
I'm going to have you do a strength check just to move them, and recognizing that there's a whole whirlpool that's going on around you.
How about a 13?
You're doing all that you can just not to get sucked into too rapidly or pushed out with one of the pulses. So you manage to hold position, but you don't manage to move them further forward.
Okay, I'll just click it again so that it's now immovable.
Adamar?
Would I be able to use my action to help Oz with his next strength saving throw against the turbulent waters?
Yeah, I mean, you could effectively do the same thing that Mike's trying to do.
If I succeed, but Mike fails, then Oz would still get advantage, right?
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So as long as one of you guys succeeds,
Exactly.
then you get advantage. That's correct.
Yeah. So I'll use my action to help him kind of stay in place as much as I can without disrupting his spell. I do not want to use my lightning in here, so I'll just that's what I'll do.
It's a bad idea. Cassis, you're up.
As Sean's saying, I don't want to use my lightning. I'm hovering over Conjure Barrage, and I'm like, I will play it safe, and I will. I'm worried about waking up this bad boy.
Getting close,
Yeah.
close.
I will
Carry on.
shoot some fish. So hopefully that thins him out a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, for sure. You didn't do quite as much as Kai did on his side. Not that it's a competition, but
Okay, let's calm down.
It is.
so we do the strength first. As the whirlpool gets more and more intense, then we do the con checks. If you succeed on your con checks, you feel like the portal's going to be open. So hopefully nothing gets worse at this point. So let's have strength checks first. Beating a 15.
Oh boy.
So everybody made their strength check. Wow, good job, guys.
Yeah.
All right, so now, if that's great, now if you two can make your concentration checks, we might be out of this whole kettle of fish.
Focus.
Right.
Focus.
Here we go. Oh, shit. Sorry, Oz. Kira made hers, but Oz failed his. All right, that means that now it's into combat for you guys. See if you can thin the herds. Acacius, you're up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna chill and pump up Kira. You know, tell her it's almost done. It's almost over. Let's just stay focused. Good luck on your next chance.
All right, let's go right to Kai then.
I will try and sashimi some fish again.
You notice though that the volume of fish around you has definitely thinned, even though more seem to be coming up from down the gullet, but in your immediate area you seem to have thinned the herd, so to speak. All right, Adamar?
I'm going to do the same thing as last time. I'll use my action to help Oz with the next strength check.
Cassis.
I am going to continue shooting some fish.
That was a good roll.
Wow, that's good, yeah. You're doing almost Kai-like damage right now.
One day.
That's a miss.
I saw that.
Oh, that's a hit. Oh, that's good.
Wow.
As you fire, the arrow goes. You're like half a dozen fish. Okay, and so both sides have attacked. And now we roll into your respective strength checks. And then hopefully a successful concentration check. Cassis succeeded, Adamar succeeded, Kai succeeded, and neither Acacius nor Kira need to roll it because they're attached to the immovable rod. And because both Michael and Sean succeeded, Osgroth gets advantage on a strength check.
Okay.
First one succeeds. 19. All right. This could be it. This could be the end. You could get out of this water. You'll get rid of those pruny fingers. just succeed on 2 concentration checks.
Oh fuck.
Oh, Oz.
Oh fuck. What?
Sorry, guys. By the way, the maw of the Kraken has shrunk in closer and closer and closer. So either you guys move in, which I'm assuming you would do naturally, but you'll have to be a deliberate action over on Kira's side because she's on the immovable rod. If you don't move her in at this point, I'm going to give double damage on the teeth.
Make it
Okay.
stop.
I'm going to try and move the pile again.
While Acacius and Kai at least should be able to try to swim together.
I guess he could have helped me last time, that fucker.
Excellent. Yeah, you move her forward, reactivate the rod. That's your action and your movement. Acacius.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit tight now that I've been able to move over. It's all good. I don't need to do anything.
You can still try to attack any fish that come into the area if you want.
That's okay.
Adamara.
Just keep doing the same thing. I will use my action to help Oz in the next strength check.
Cassus, fish killer, you're up.
Yeah, I'll shoot some more fish just to thin it out over here, so hopefully Adamar can take less damage.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
All this blood that's supposed to be inside me, it's fine. It's fine.
Fish getting skewered. Fish kebabs. Wow. You're doing some good damage here.
Yeah, I'm liking this bow.
That's what my friend said before he lost his head.
Uh-oh.
Good. At this point, you're eating into the other school, so you're down to 1 school on either side.
Nice.
So you guys are easily dealing with the fish. Unfortunately, the swirling water is getting faster. The jaws of the Kraken are slowly being pulled in like a bear trap. And let's do strength checks.
Come on.
Trying to beat a 15.
19 for Adamar.
7 for Guy.
19 for Cassis.
Okay, so that's good. So Osgaroth gets advantage. But it's
No,
not.
I don't know.
So what I need from Oz is a concentration check first.
Sure.
All right. I'm sorry, we got to do one more round of combat. Hopefully, one more round.
I'm brewing the tea of concentration.
Next up, then is Kai.
Okay, I'm going to keep going after my school of fish. And then this one, I'm going to pick out a small fish. Just try to flick him in the nose.
You kill said fish with your flick. You see a little fish like a dory, and it's gone. So next up is Adamar. You're just going to contribute your strength.
Yep.
You guys aren't being horribly harried by the fish right now. I think the bigger problem is the waves and the pulsing and the whirlpool and the encroaching teeth of the Kraken. So next up is Gimli, as he competes with Legolas on the other side.
I have the bow, I should be Legolas.
That is true.
If you're ahead in points, you'd be Legolas.
Oh, that is also true. Bonus action, I'm going to use the healing spirit on Oz again. Then I'll just attack some more.
Now their turn. So Adamar, they have advantage on you. Oh. 11 piercing. Kira. Nat 20. Kira.
Hey.
Nice. And after you take your 19 hit points of damage, I'd like you to give me your concentration check now.
Yeah. Focus.
Nice. All right, now Todd has to put his concentration where his mouth is.
Come on. I haven't made the tea yet. No. Okay, do it.
All right, so Kira, you made your concentration check already. So now it's just Oz's concentration check.
Fuck.
$19. That'll do it.
Sweet.
Oh,
Oh,
thank God.
right.
Just then, the Kraken's maw closes even tighter. You see further down more lights of fish that have been disturbed from the whirlpool that's descending down into the Kraken's gullet. And as the fish are coming up, the whirlpool starts to get faster and faster and faster. And now you can't really stop yourselves from getting pulled in. And Oz, at this point, thrusts the staff into the center of the whirlpool with these vertices coming off the tattooed lines of the Kraken's mouth. As the staff hits the central point of these vertices of the whirlpool, the staff glows really bright for a moment and then goes dark. And then all you guys see is a bright flash of light as you're sucked into the whirlpool. The light looks blue, like maybe it's like lightning. Maybe that's going to go off in the Kraken's mouth. It's just a bright white light. And a blinding white light sears your eyes and skin. For a moment, you feel weightless and disoriented. And then, suddenly, you start to flail, arms waving and legs kicking. You land hard, and the salt water explodes from your lungs and mouth. One at a time, your peers explode out of a small pond in a geyser, landing on the ground around you. The pond is surrounded by lush green broadleaf plants and is dominated by a single towering palm tree with white fronds and trunk. Blinking to recover your vision, you look above. The clear sky is the brightest of blues. You push off the ground to regain your feet. As you do so, your hands sink into the soft, hot sand. When a sharp object presses into your flesh, you look around to see bleached white bones poking out from the sand and the greenery of the plants. With a fright, you are reminded of the carnivorous trees that inhabited the jungle you were in mere weeks ago. You scramble to your feet and after a couple of kicks are reassured that the plants are of no immediate threat. Looking around, the pond is as blue as the sky above. Rather than sand on its fringe, there's about 1 meter of what appears to be snow. Over the top of the large plant, you see miles and miles of rolling hills of sand. You guys are soaking wet from the water that was obviously in there. It's painfully bright, being in this bright sunlight. The only illumination that you've had for the most part has been due to the arm rings that you had. It's hard for you to get your footing and your balance. You're going to have some lingering effects from having been underwater for so long. And your fingers are pruny.
Damn it.
So sorry, looking around, like this looks like we're in the middle of some sort of oasis in a desert?
Yes, that's exactly what it looks like. There are, just so you know, there are bleached white bones all throughout this area.
Something's
That
coming
might
here to
be
die.
a clue that there might be something amiss here. As you're poking around, in the shade of a large plant, a desiccated and half-decayed skeletal form clutches a rolled piece of parchment. The figure's lips and chin are stained a deep black and is wearing loose white linen rags. And it has a satchel and in its other hand, loosely there, kind of in its hand, not in a grip, is a half-full water skin. And unlike these other bones, it's not completely bleached. Like all these other bones, they've obviously been here for quite a while. And this one is actually sitting up in the shade of one of the larger plants, so it looks a lot more recent.
Yeah. Hey, so guys, if we don't get out of here soon, this is what we're going to look like.
I guess I'll take his parchment.
Yeah, the parchment's a map. As you're going through his satchel, there's a book, a spyglass, 2 empty ink pots, 3 quills, several sheafs of parchment, a tinderbox, and a pouch that has mixed in it several pieces of platinum, gold, and silver, and a scroll that has several descending values on it, with lines drawn through them, starting at 1,000 gold pieces, then 850 gold pieces, and 725 gold pieces, and the final value is 550 gold pieces that is not scored out. You read it in detail. It's a writ of transactions. There's a reference to Mert the moneylender. Those of you who are in Waterdeep would recognize that Mert was pushing for coinless transactions. He was establishing money lending facilities and effectively banks throughout the Sword Coast.
Then I guess I'll open the book and see if it's a journal or something.
It is a journal, no name on it, because you guys have been away for a while, so keeping track of the days has been probably a little challenging. You're guessing that it's Eliasis is the month, which is basically August. So you know it's sometime in August, or you believe it's sometime in August. It says 14th day of Flame Rule, 1495. My escorts are regaling me with tales of giant sand snakes that erupt out of the ground, devouring whole caravans. And the howls at night are apparently 2-headed wild dogs and jackals. If I hadn't read several of Wolfinch's tombs and bestiaries, I might not believe the tales. Even flying lions. Still, they might just be the stories of the Dupari. I am greatly missing home and the seas around Candle Keep. 17th day of Flame Rule, 1495. We spent 3 days trying to get around this sky sea. And as we get closer to the light of Amun-Ra, the heat is even more unbearable. One of my guides collapsed. 20th day of Flame Rule, 1495. Curse that fool Bullfinch for sending me on this quest. I tried to circumvent the bloody sky sea to no avail. Lost 3 camels and my guides abandoned me. At least they didn't take what's left of my coin nor my camel. I kept Amun-Ra's light to my left, so to backtrack I should just have to keep it on my right. 23rd day of Flame Rule, 1495. I am lost. A sandstorm came through and I nearly died. Fortunately, I was away from the sky sea where, I am told, the storms slice men and beasts to ribbons. At night, I can still make out the light from Amun-Ra. So I will limit my travels tonight. It's cooler and I'm almost out of water and food. Last entry, 29th day of Flame Rule, 1495. I have found the oasis of the White Palm. It shall be my salvation. After scouring the corpses, I have found nothing of value. I am certain they have been picked over, which means that someone will come. Let's hope that I can convince them to return me to Bralazar in exchange for the remaining value of the writ. Maybe then they won't rob me or murder me. It should work if I am found by the Dupari or the Sand Voyagers, but if the barbaric Burundi nomads find me first, well, maybe they will take me as a slave.
The light of Amun-Ra, is that a star he was using?
Or the sun?
The map will help.
Oh. So...
It's like...
a fire or something? Or some sort of...
Yeah.
It's a
Volcano?
beacon something there, right?
Yeah.
I'll cast fly and fly up and see what I can see and come back down.
You do a kind of a 360 scan, and in a half a second, you see this massive glowing orb that looks effectively like a small sun, and it seems to be surmounting what looks like a triangular structure, a pyramid, if you will.
Yeah. Very cool. I will fly back down and report.
Okay. While you were up there, you could see, based off the map and your orientation, you could see not far from the White Palm, you see a herd camels. And as Oz looks at those creatures and looks at some of the bones in and around the oasis, it's clear that they're camel bones as well. When you're moving around and you get close to this White Palm, you see that it's actually coated in a white substance, and even the fronds have this white substance on them, but they're kind of crystalline as they hang down. I mean, frankly, it takes a moment, but you realize it's salt. And that the white fringe that's around the pond, the oasis, is also salt.
Well, I've never seen a sun in the middle of the desert, so I'm cool with checking that out. That seems magical and interesting.
So you have no doubt that this is the fire portal area that you went into. And now, having said that, this big fiery orb might be a pretty solid clue, or it could just be the fact that you're in this crazy desert.
We're big boys. We should go right to the big draw. Eh?
Okay, you guys going to try to tame some camels?
Yeah.
Yep.
How are you guys going to try to tame these things?
With my axe.
Describe to me how you're going to use your attribute. You all can do something. One thing, you tell me what it's going to be. We'll do a skill check. And then once we get to 3 successes, you will have secured the herd. What skill or attribute are you guys going to use, Osgaroth and Acacius, to try to get the camels to move?
Intimidation.
Yeah, I can do minor illusions to make noises and stuff, right?
Okay, I'm going to use that as a performance then.
Or maybe a lion roaring, a wolf. I don't know, some animal noises.
Well, if you freak them out too much, they're just going to
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna.
You gotta do this with some degree of kind of skill or nuance, right?
Yeah, I think at some point, Osgaroth, he's seen a moose.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, he'll make it moose noise.
Okay.
Well, it's like I don't know what these things are, and it's like all kind of look like a moose, kind of.
I don't think that's a bad idea. Kira, I think you were saving yours for animal handling.
Yeah, I was going to do animal handling to try and calm the herd down as they come towards us.
Okay.
Whoa, shh.
Easy.
Yeah.
So Cassis, will you speak with animal and persuasion?
Cassis is first going to grab palms from the palm tree, or the salt, I guess, at least.
I'm going to try and wrangle one. So, strength.
Kai, you should just stunning punch one.
I'm gonna try and use acrobatics to jump on the back of one if it runs away.
Still like my idea of just stunning punch all of them.
Oh, don't worry, I got an anchor in the sand.
Click.
So right now my movable rod is tied to a rope.
So Acacius,
What could go wrong?
you're up first for intimidation.
23.
Good. You got some of them moving. Now let's see how Osgroth does with his performance.
Yeah,
A
man.
natural 20.
That's a 20. Is that a moose I hear?
All right, Kira, they start plodding towards you.
Try and calm them down as they come up.
Kira gets them to settle down, and instead of scattering, you use your animal handling. You kind of move your position, and they start to slow down and move basically right in front of you guys and kind of settle in. Their heads are darting around nervously. Now we have Cassis, who's collected some salt, has cast Speak with Animal. And what are you going to say to said animals?
Hey, fellas. Hey, we mean you no harm. We need your help. We have salt here if that's something you would enjoy. We're just looking for rides.
The leader of the herd tells you that they come here sometimes attracted by the salt, but too often there are dead animals there and the stench of the decay gets them to go looking elsewhere. But in this case, they very much appreciate a little bit of salt because it helps them regulate their own salt intake. And given how sweaty I'm sure these beasts get out here, that would be a treat for them. Okay, give me your persuasion check.
Oh,
Whoa!
that
Where are
is
all these
a
rolls later? Where are they?
convincing
Salt.
fucking ranger right there.
You hear it talking to its peers and saying, hey, let's give these guys a ride. You know, they're going to give us some salt. We'll have more protection against the wolves and the jackals. We'll have greater safety is basically what it's saying to its peers. It gestures around and drops down onto its front knees and then settles down flat. And it gestures for you to sit nestled between its humps.
Yeah, let's saddle up.
Adamar, you feel very uncomfortable in this environment. Acacius, as your eyes kind of settle down and you see waves of heat coming off the ground, you see a large, very large raven kind of drift into view, and it lights on top of the white palm, and then it starts to flap its wings and kicks up all this white salt and flies off in the direction of Amun-Ra's light. Everybody else sees a vulture land on the palm and linger for a moment and then fly off in that direction.
Well, I take note of that, but I recognize that this group probably could benefit from a rest, and after a long rest, we'd probably all be better for it. And we can head into the unknown and convince everyone to head in the direction of the ring.
Well, sometimes the best way to serve your mistress isn't always the most obvious path. All right.
Okay,
Dex
so
check made.
half damage, so half 15, which if we're rounding down, right? So 12.
Half of 15 is 12. Is that what you just said?
I'm an idiot. Never mind. 6. Or 7. I don't know. Math is not my thing. We've been over this. It's 7. Rounding down.
Although that's recorded.
It's good that Liz is the accountant and will be teaching the little boy math.
I was about to say I am the father of a child.